Here's a video of us doing some parking lot striping that I specifically recorded for one of our students to help train him. If you would like to learn how to start a parking lot striping business, check out the first pinned comment below. Also, BillyDavidsonVIP.com. Oh wait, dang it, I almost forgot. I want to congratulate Jason from Monroe, Louisiana for landing a parking lot striping job that's going to pay him almost $4,000 for one afternoon of work. Congratulations, Jason, and great work.
By the way, we would have to cross back over our painted line. So you can see he's going to stripe this, and then he'll make a diagonal turn to go back up diagonal towards the other line. Now this is a Hotline latex from Sherwin-Williams. Great paint for latex. You just got to make sure you stir it well and filter it. That's what all latex paints, obviously. And then again, over 70 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to add a couple ounces of water per gallon when you're stirring it in. And then I would say about every hour or so, you probably want to add an ounce per gallon of paint that you have in your bucket, and then stir that in. Just kind of keep that paint from thickening up, because a lot of times when the paint gets too thick, it gets wavy. It doesn't come out that spray tip perfectly. And I get a lot of questions from my students about wavy lines. Now look, guys, don't be too hard on yourself. I've seen striping so horrific and the customers seem happy with it. You know, we want to get this as perfect as possible, but we're dealing with a difficult product such as traffic paint. It's not like your normal house paint. And sometimes it's very difficult to get it absolutely perfect. And I've seen some of my students send me zoomed in pictures of their lines, and the very edges of them kind of looked a little bit jagged. I was like, man, that looks great. It's you know, it's not razor sharp. Sometimes it's so difficult to get them razor sharp, especially like today. They got a little breeze blowing. That paint kind of gets a little bit pushed around before it hits the ground coming out the spray tip. It's fine though.
Within the All Pro Parking Lot Striping course, you will receive over 14 hours of exclusive video training. I teach you exactly how to operate the equipment, which paints to use, how to price out each job carefully. In addition, you'll get a certificate of completion once you pass the knowledge test. And most importantly, I teach you exactly how to get these parking lot striping jobs.
Now, what's not acceptable is crooked lines, unpainted portions, you know, painting over a bunch of trash on the ground. Sometimes you'll get a leaf or something that blows across, but, you know, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But, you know, just be careful what you're painting over. Kind of, you know, kind of common sense in a way. I don't necessarily like to paint over gum, but if there's a spot or two and I hadn't noticed it and we're painting and we paint over it, I just kind of leave it alone at times. But now if it was 6 or 7 gum spots on a line, well, obviously I would probably go ahead and take them up. But sometimes you're so busy, there's certain things that get past you or something. But overall, you know, do the best you can, and it doesn't have to be like you painting $1 million house with in their kitchen. You know, it's a parking lot, for God's sake. So keep those standards up, but don't waste so much time out here. You kill yourself on it. All right, Apex is rocking and rolling. Now it starts and stops. You see, he's about got it right. Now when he starts pushing this machine, you'll notice he starts with a lunge, which is perfect because you have a bit of a burst pressure. If you got too slow of a start, your paint's going to pile up on the beginning of that line, and it's not going to look too great. So he has that initial surge as he pulls that trigger. Now when he comes to the end of it, he's gauging his stopping point and not running into that curb with the front wheel, because you're going to splash paint everywhere. Now, if you want to, you can put a couple pieces of tape or a starter shingle down on each line as you are training. That's fine if you want to do that, but you need to learn how not to have those pieces in place, because it's, you know, obviously a lot more work. So you need to kind of learn to do that start and stop. I'm gonna kind of get a different angle for you here. Kind of give you a little bit different angle. And as he's coming towards the last 3/4 of that line, he's starting to pull back on the machine and kind of keep that, start to break, so to speak, if you will. Start breaking the momentum of it. We're gonna walk down it with him here. Now right here, he's starting to slow his gait down. Now he's pulling back to stop the machine, and then boom, let's go to the trigger. We'll show you from this angle as well. And that's really the only way I can describe it. You almost have to do it a few times as you're practicing, even if you're practicing with water like we explained. And then right now he's starting to slow his gait down. Now he's stopping. And a little bit slower, boom, and he's not contacting the wheel stop. Now also taping the lines would help you keep them straight. Tape your own lines if you want to practice, because I feel like if you got someone else taping them, you're going to be a little bit slower to learn because you're not having to get down on your hands and knees and tape them. Just a little bit of self-discipline there. And what I mean by taping it, on each side of the line, that tape that you seen we made that box with, you can put a couple edges down of tape on each side of the line. Kind of gives you a buffer zone as you're learning. If you get over on the tape a little bit, you're painting tape and not concrete. So it kind of gives you a little bit of cushion as you're learning. But most guys, after they tape 10 lines, they're ready to not tape anymore. So they force themselves to learn. Again, if you're looking at his feet, he's keeping a consistent gait or a walking speed until he gets to that last 25% of that line. Check it out from this angle. He's knocking them out today. As you see, we striping from right to left. Now we're gonna hop across the drive lane here. And look, we got a car parked here. It must be the cleaners, the janitorial people. Said it might be that one we can't come back and, we'll have to come back and get one of them. They might be here several hours, so I may try something different. Same thing there. Apex, spin around. We don't do most of this line in case we got to tape and spray. Back on up a little bit. If I'd have realized they was in here, I'd have had them parked somewhere else. But this is what happens with striping. So you can't do all of the line. I'm going to show you. The length of that machine is not getting painted back there. But I would rather have that little bit left over than all of it. I'm going to show you. This part right here, we could put down 2 pieces of tape and then hand spray it or roll it if we needed to. And it's not much that has to be done. We call those incompletes. And sometimes you'll have 3 or 4 incompletes in a parking lot, but you got to go back and tape and hit it with a paintbrush or roller or hand spray it with the machine, either one. And I don't know how well you can hear the machine with this breeze blowing, but again, it's not running no more than about 50% power, and it may not even be that much. So these Titan 3500s are chilled out whenever we're striping. And we can increase the power. Let's say we want to stripe really long lines where 18-wheelers park. You'd want to bump up that pressure and the RPMs both. So you'll have ample power to have a continuous trigger pull. And as you notice here, you're doing 18-foot lines. That trigger's only pulled for a few seconds. And you do have a bit of a pressure drop during the process of spraying it, but it's not enough to deviate the spray pattern by the time you get to the end. But if we was doing a continuous line like in front of a shopping center, we would have this thing powered up so the machine could keep up with putting the paint out, if that makes sense. There we go. Looking really good. Looks like our clouds are moving out too, so that's good. I don't mind a little overcast, but man, 0%, that scared me.